What's going on, y'all? How we doing out there? Back with another quick hit clip. Welcome to the franchise here. And with this one right here, I just want to get straight into it. I know it's going to be what everybody's doing. They've been working on this shit probably the last couple of days or all week. Or if you want to do that last minute shit, get your better odds or see who's playing, who's not playing, this, that, and the third. We're going to do the parlay plays. Take your pick. And this one, I'm going to get a little crazy here and shit. You know, fuck it. Let's go for broke, kid. You know, and just talk about the parlay plays and see who we think is going to do what in the biggest fucking game here in the Super Bowl. So let me get straight into it right now. I'm going to start off with Jalen Hurts, right? Like I said in the previous video, I think they're going to open it up a little bit for him in the first half or maybe throughout the whole game and let him throw the ball around. Still keep it balanced with the run game. He's going to run also, but throw the ball around and everything like that. But here's my thing on the prop, right? With Jalen Hurts, this is what I'm going to say. 2 touchdowns for him. But I'm going to say rushing. 2 touchdowns rushing. Because I think that they're going to be on schedule. Like I said in the previous video, right? They're going to be on schedule with their drives. They're going to score touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Probably won't be too many field goals or a field goal at all. Especially with the way that their kicker been playing, right? And they're gonna get it. They are going to get into some situations where they're gonna be in the red zone. They're gonna have that tush push, and you know it's gonna be Jalen Hurts for a touchdown. Then there's probably gonna be another scenario at some point in the game, probably late in the game, or maybe whatever third quarter, whatever, where they have that play similar to how they had against Washington, where they fake it to Saquon and then he runs it in for a score. I could see something like that happening today for Jalen Hurts. So 2+ touchdowns rushing for Jalen Hurts. And fuck it, I'm going to do 200+ yards passing for him too. I could see him having something like between 215 and 235 through the air. I think they're going to throw it around a little bit, but still keep it balanced in the run game. That's why I say like 200, most like 200 on the dot or 215. Because they still want to keep it balanced, maybe 225. I ain't going to see him, we ain't going to see no 250 plus, 200 or 300+ yard gain, nothing crazy like that. But I can see that happening, you know what I mean? 2+ rushing touchdowns for him, 200 yards passing, 200 yards plus passing, And the next one, I'll say Saquon. I'll put Saquon, 75+ yards rushing. I think the favorite out there a lot, that's probably going to be out there a lot. Of course, it's going to be 100 yards, at 100 yards basically in every single game. This Chiefs defense is still really good. You know what I mean? I think they're going to play really tight on him in the run game for the most part. But he is going to break one at some point. If it's not early, then late. If he breaks one early, then they're definitely going to tighten up on that run. If it's tight for him throughout the whole game, then later on in the game, like the second half, third quarter, or fourth quarter, then he's going to break one because, it's just that war of attrition. At some point, something's gonna give. But if he has a big run first, or whatever, after that, the Chiefs are really going to lock in on that. Either way it goes, I think let's start from 75+, and he's going to have a touchdown. I think he's definitely going to have a touchdown. The Eagles are going to try and get him involved in that way. I think they really want to lean a little bit more on Jalen, but they understand still that this is the dude that really had a big impact on getting y'all here. So, of course, let's feed him and get him in the end zone. And it's his birthday, too, so come on now. You got to do that. And I know for sure that's a huge favorite one out there. Probably with everyone Saquon going to score. Saquon going to score a touchdown in this game. I know everybody's saying that shit, so I'd be a little shocked if he didn't in this game. If he didn't, hey, that's as you gotta tip your hat off to the Chiefs defense of keying in on that one and being smart with this scheme there. Eagles defense. Let me get into it real quick first. I think their defense is gonna come up with a turnover. I think they turn over Patrick Mahomes. If not, definitely gonna be a fumble by probably a player that hasn't played in this game before. Maybe a fumble by Worthy or on a kick return from Romilio or some shit like that or whatever. But other than that, with how good that this defense is on all 3 levels, especially the defensive backfield as well, I can see them turning Patrick Mahomes over and him having an interception. It could be a big difference in the game, but like I said, also Patrick Mahomes could overcome turnovers. The Chiefs can overcome turnovers, and they could play from behind. But I do see the Eagles getting a turnover today. Staying on that side with it, SAQUON 9 tackles plus tonight. I see that shit. He might finish the game somewhere between 12 and 15, but to lock it in, to really lock it in, 9+ tackles tonight. Got to. He's gonna play the game of his life. That offense is gonna probably have them running all over the place, especially if they get forced into a lot of where let's try and get this run game going, and their run game is not as potent as the Eagles' run game. So SAQUON is gonna get active tonight. I put 9 tackles plus for him, and Nolan Smith is gonna get a sack in the Super Bowl, man. He's gonna get a sack in the Super Bowl. He's going for that record. He want to stay on this hot streak, and I think that once Patrick Mahomes starts, seeing that in between the tackles there, in between the guards there, that they're pushing up front and going crazy there, he's gonna try and get outside, and one of them plays, Nolan Smith is gonna be waiting right there for him and take him down. You know what I mean? He's gonna probably try and throw it away, but Nolan Smith is so quick and so tenacious that Mahomes will probably be like, nah, I gotta be smart and not have a fumble happen or some shit, tuck it and just take the sack. And Nolan Smith is gonna get that sack. I would say Jalen Carter, that's a really popular one. I think they're gonna key in on him and do double teams. I could definitely see him having like some tackles for losses here and there, or really having a lot of pressures. I wouldn't be surprised if he did have at least a half sack, or a sack and everything, but I think Mahomes is going to anticipate that. They're going to make it tough for him inside the pocket, but he's going to find a way to avoid that pressure in the middle, either getting the ball off quick or trying to roll out, or just dancing around in the middle of that pocket and finding his opening to throw the ball or even run through the lane. So there goes that. And then I'll do A.J. Brown also for 65+ yards and a touchdown, because they don't want that motherfucker reading that book on their sideline. They don't want him pouting. They don't want a blow up or anything like that. So, and like I said, I think that they're going to open it up in the offense early in the game so that, Brown could be happy. Devontae could do his thing also. So I see him finishing the game with 65+ yards receiving. And, he's going to have a touchdown catch. I know I already said Jalen Hurts, 2 touchdowns, SAQUON with a touchdown, and then that gives the Eagles, 21 points, right? If no field goals missed, right? And then you got A.J. Brown with a touchdown catch also. I think that the Chiefs defense is still disciplined enough that he's not going to get it all in one big play, but he's going to make his plays here and there. And then when they have to in the red zone, or let's say that the 30 or the 20 or something like that, they got to throw. The Chiefs defense forces them to a passing game. They're like, hey, all right, we got them where we want them, and we don't believe he could throw like that. And Brown will probably get open on a corner route by the pylon, run it in, break a tackle, run it in, or a deep dig route for like 15 yards and run it right in there for a touchdown. I can see that happening. Or just a fade right over the shoulder. He's a big body. He's good. He can make them tough catches. I see that 65+ yards receiving and a touchdown for him. Now, let's swing it a little bit more to the Chiefs side here. Mahomes, I can definitely see him having 2 touchdowns today. Like, yeah, and I seen throughout the playoffs they were saying he hasn't really had the biggest passing games and everything like that. And I think that's more of the offense just trying to be really efficient, and him trying to be efficient, trying not to turn over the ball. You don't have to do too much if you don't need to. But I can see in this game he's going to have to, man. Mahomes, 2 touchdowns passing, probably have an interception, but he'll have 275 yards plus throwing in this game. I think I could see that happening. 25+ yards rushing as well. But the reason why I say 275 plus, because I think he's going to have to, is that fourth quarter. He's going to be on some fourth quarter shit is where it's really going to happen, because if they're playing from behind and that defense is stopping that run, because their run game, they could contribute, Hunt and Pacheco, they're going to get their little 3.5 to 4 yards to carry here and there, but they may break off a 10-yard run maybe. Pacheco, you can see that, maybe a 20-yard run for him, but maybe just 1 or 2 between him and Hunt. unless they do, they really, like I said, if they try and get Worthy and Remilio involved in that rushing game, then it's different. But I could see, especially in that fourth quarter, if they got to play from behind, and if he does have a turnover in the second half, they got to play from behind. And that defensive line that's really tough up front for the Eagles, stopping that run, he going to have to throw and throw and throw. And you know that he can. We all know that he can, and he's going to make the play. So, yeah, 275 yards plus. Got to. You got to do that. You got to do that. And two TD'z plus, which means he might have 3. He might fuck around and have 3, you know. And one of those TD'z, I'll say, one of those TD'z, I say, this is another one I'm putting on here. It's just crazy. One of them is probably going to go to Samaje Perine. That's what I put for him. Just one receiving touchdown for Samaje Perine, or rushing for Samaje Perine. I'll put that in there. You know, like I said, let's get a little crazy on this one. It's the final game of the season, you know what I mean? You might as well go for broke, you know? So, yeah, you know, so I think Samaje Perine on a receiving touchdown or a rushing touchdown, if you want to put that on your ticket out there, you know what I'm saying? And then another touchdown that Mahomes might throw, let's put the boy Justin Watson in there, man. I'll put Justin Watson down for 30 yards receiving and a touchdown. I could see him when they start getting down by the red zone, or maybe if they're on the 30 or the 20, he'll be open in the back of the end zone, you know, unaccounted for, or on a busted coverage, or people like, yeah, don't key in on him, let's key in on Kelsey, Worthy, Juju's in, and D-Hop, key in on them, and then they forget about him. He's in the back of the end zone for a post or a dig route, touchdown. We've seen it throughout the whole season. We've seen it in the playoffs. We've seen it in previous seasons before. Justin Watson, 30 yards receiving, and a touchdown. I could see that happening. For the Bull, Travis Kelsey, I'll do 4 catches. I'll do 4 catches and over, let's say, 35 yards. We'll do that. 4 catches and over 35 yards. And you got to watch out for him, too. He might fuck around and have a touchdown also. I think every Super Bowl he's played, except for the one against the Bucs, he's had a touchdown, right? Or even the last one, he probably didn't have one when they won. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But I know he's going to eat. He's not going to come out. This ain't going to be one of them games where he just come out with 2 catches and like 19 yards or some shit. He's still going to get involved because him and Mahomes, at some point, I feel like going to have to play a little bit of hero ball late in the game. Maybe he's not a factor early in the game, but later in the game, he is. And that's when he'll have his 4 catches for 4 plus catches for 35 plus yards, meaning he'll probably have somewhere between 4 and 6 catches, and it'll be like 57 to 75 yards or some shit like that. Because they're going to have to make some big plays in that fourth quarter against this defense. And then let's swing a little bit to the defensive side here for the Chiefs. I do Karlaftis with a sack. I can see him getting a sack if Jalen Hurts tries to throw the ball, run out on the edge, roll out in the pocket, and try and throw the ball. I can see Karlaftis getting the best of him and getting a sack there. I can see Chris Jones. He's going to have to be a game wrecker everywhere on the field, not just about getting sacks for him and rushing the passer. So I can see him having 3 tackles or more. If you want to get even crazy, do 3.5 tackles or more. And if they did put that stat on there in the books, I don't think they do, but 2 tackles for loss for sure for him. I could see that happening today. And he might fuck around and get a half sack. I think he'll have a chance to get a half sack and everything, or maybe a sack, but more than likely, I think he's the thing I like about Chris Jones is he knows his role in these big-ass games. It's like, I just got to fuck shit up. I don't need to get all the sacks in this game. All my dogs around me, they got to eat and do their numbers. And if I get a sack in a clutch moment in the fourth quarter, all right, cool. That's when I pop out for the half sack or the full sack there. But for sure, 3 to 3.5 plus tackles for Chris Jones. Maybe a half sack. That's a maybe on that one. Bolton, definitely 8 plus sacks for him, man. I mean, 8 plus tackles. Whoa, 8 plus sacks in the Super Bowl for him. Shit, you got to walk out with the MVP on that one. But, yeah, Nick Bolton, definitely 8 plus tackles for him. Do we want to put a sack in there? I don't know, because I don't see the Chiefs having just, I think at the most, with a quarterback like Hurts and the kind of offense they're going to run, with balancing it out with run and pass, or just mainly run, they'll probably just have 2 sacks, maybe 3 sacks. But one of them Like I said, we're going to come from Karlaftis. Maybe a half comes from Bolton with his 8+ tackles. And maybe a half comes from someone like McDuffie or Justin Reed, or a sack from Justin Reed. You know what I'm saying? So it'll probably be that. But I'm doing the 8+ tackles for Nick Bolton. And then just a couple guys that you want to see get their numbers too in this game. Well, one of them you definitely want to see. The other dude, he already had his number in these games playing with the Chiefs. But I could see this happening, man, especially if they got to throw the ball around some more and the run game's not working, or they got to come from behind. But 3 catches for Juju and 3 catches for D-Hop. I'll put it down. Put it down on the ticket. 3 catches plus for both of them, man. You know, shit, put it in there. And, you know, I think with all of these right here that, hey, you put all of these on the ticket, or you put at least 5 of them on there, it'd probably be, a big comeback there, especially with the Watson joint for a touchdown. Watson for a touchdown, 30 yards, P-Ron for a touchdown. And then another one I want to sneak in there also, a sneaking one that I think, and you've seen him in certain games throughout the season and in the playoffs, you be like, oh, shit, they using him? He got 2 catches. Yo, I don't know. It might have a good comeback on that, but Grant Calcaterra, 2 catches. I'll say that. In a game like this is where shit like that happens. 2 catches and like 25+ yards. Put it in there, man. But that's what it is. You gotta get crazy for the last game here, man. And as far as just the score and everything, and who's gonna win, I'll say this. I think the final score is gonna be something like 28-25. Yeah, final score 28-25. And it's gonna be the Eagles. 28-25. The Eagles are gonna win. I could see something happening where, you know, the Chiefs play from behind a little bit. They have to get a field goal, or they go for 2 and they miss it. They end up having 16 or some shit like that, whatever. Then they kick a field goal and it's 19 points and they're down. They're down 21-19 or 28-19 or whatever. And then they score a touchdown and it's 28-25. But then maybe the Eagles ice it with their run game, tush push, Hurts running, Barkley running, some shit like that. And it ends up being 28-25. You know, all I know is the game is probably going to look a lot similar to the first game they played. And them refs better not interfere and do no suspect shit, no funny shit. I don't want to hear about it, because we already know the whole story that's been going around with that. And, yo, we have eyes, man. Just because we're fans doesn't mean we don't know shit about shit. We got eyes. We all can see the bullshit. We all can see it. Niggas keep throwing around the word conspiracy theory. Shut that shit up, bro. We all can see the shit. So, as long as the rest don't get involved and it's, for the most part, nice, clean game, entertaining and shit like that, it's going to be fun to watch. But I got final score 28-25 Philly. You know what I mean? But that's going to wrap it up for this quick hit clip for me. Well, welcome to the franchise. Y'all out there, be careful with your bets. Bet responsibly, all that. But have fun with that shit, too. If you're doing a whole group one with the fellas or whoever you're watching the game with, the Super Bowl party, that shit'll be fun. Everybody put their little input in on what they know is going to hit that they've been picking all season. Everybody put their $5, $10 up or whatever, and see if y'all can hit on a big-ass parlay for the whole Super Bowl party. You know what I mean? That buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. You might as well do that shit and have fun with it. But that's going to do it for me. Y'all out there, be easy.